I found something in the store.
Okay. What did you find?
Hello, in this video I want to review the movie Backrooms. What I actually wished I knew before I watched the movie was that Backrooms is an internet urban legend. It emerges on 4chan, it also then becomes popular on creepypasta, on Reddit. So the Backrooms are supposed to be this space where you can find yourself if reality suddenly glitches. Everybody can find themselves there. It is this yellow, unnatural space that kind of defies the laws of logic. It's supposed to represent the collective anxiety of the modern man. Um, what's very scary about the Backrooms is that they do seem very artificial. There's this yellow color everywhere, these very unnatural noises, something like an abandoned factory that defies the laws of logic and architecture. It defies also the laws of usefulness. You have staircases that go nowhere, and sometimes monsters can appear. And the director of the movie actually becomes popular as a YouTuber that made Backrooms YouTube videos, and that's why A24 gave him an opportunity to bring the story to the big screen. And what I like most about this movie is actually the concept, the idea of there being a Backrooms movie. The main flaw, in my opinion, of the movie is actually the characters, how their personal arcs and development are connected to the story of the Backrooms. But there is actually one interpretation of the movie that makes this movie truly great, I would argue, if you accept that interpretation. So the story starts with this black guy called Clark. He is a deeply troubled man. He's an alcoholic. His wife left him. He's still frustrated about it. He's selling low quality furniture and is also frustrated about not being an architect. He's trying to make it in this modern hustle culture, but the competition is strong. There are a lot of people with better furniture and better prices, and he's seeing this therapist called Mary that is trying to help him. And as if he didn't have enough problems, there are electricity outages in his furniture store. He starts to investigate them, and suddenly he finds himself in the Backrooms. I do think that Clark, in a perfect way, represents the anxiety of the modern man. He's just a small guy trying to make it in the free market, which is kind of the American dream, but it's not really working. His business is not going well. And you could argue, out of that anxiety, he suddenly finds himself in the Backrooms. And because his life is actually empty and he's not fulfilled, he starts to explore the Backrooms. There's this bizarre curiosity that both our protagonist has and that we as the audience have. We also want to see what's in the Backrooms. And eventually his therapist, Mary, because she's trying to help him, she also ends up in the Backrooms. Now, I don't want to spoil too much about the movie. I would say that if you need a movie that has very strong character development and a very strong story, then this will probably not be a movie for you. But if you like movies that are more about the idea, about a concept, and that are kind of slow, it's also a movie that I would argue you also have to think about in order to actually realize what is it trying to say. I think that why many people didn't like the movie is that they don't understand what's the message behind it. Now I'm about to enter the spoilers territory. So if you don't want spoilers, go and watch the movie. But the movie ends, I think we can all agree, we who watch the movie, it ends in a very unsatisfying way. Mary is just captured by this corporation that's trying to use Backrooms as a storage, and then the movie suddenly ends. We don't know what's going to happen with her. There isn't really a satisfying story arc about her. She doesn't really grow as a character. We are not sure that she is now managed to deal with her childhood trauma. But upon reflection, I realized that the pointlessness of it all is kind of the point of the movie. At least that's my interpretation, because the Backrooms are supposed to be pointless. And as one reviewer said, the Backrooms are almost, you could argue, a resurgence of Dadaism into our postmodern, or you could even say postmodern art. Dadaism is a style of art that becomes popular. It actually comes into existence after World War I. After the horrors of World War I, people are kind of horrified. They start to deconstruct everything, and Dadaism is a art style that actually glorifies pointlessness. The point of Dadaism is to have no point, and after all the horrors that humanity saw in World War I, it kind of seemed that all of it was pointless, and it was. And the only proper reaction to the evils unleashed by World War I was, in a way, to make an art style that glorifies pointlessness, that just accepts it as a fact of reality. And I would say that the Backrooms is probably the movie that best encapsulates that Dadaistic message, essentially, that sometimes there is no point. And yeah, you can tell me in the comment section, do you agree with this take that the Backrooms is essentially Dadaism brought to the big screen? And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe.